Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to really dig into the source material, figure out the strategy behind the big tech shifts happening today. And today, well, it's more than just a trend. We're looking at a full-on transformation in e-commerce. I'm talking about virtual sales assistants, VSAs. Forget those clunky chatbots from 5 years ago. Doesn't feel that long ago, but tech moves fast. Now we're really in the era of sophisticated AI co-pilots. They're powered by advanced natural language processing, and they're turning customer interaction from, frankly, often a frustrating search into something dynamic, something personalized, a real shopping journey.
That really is the strategic shift, isn't it? And our mission today, for you listening, is to lay out the operational blueprint. We're going deep into the mechanics, how this tech actually works.
Yeah.
But crucially, we're translating that into tangible business outcomes. Think of this deep dive as your shortcut. Understanding how these VSAs deliver real-time, personalized engagement, how that improves satisfaction, streamlines operations, and, maybe most importantly for the bottom line, how it significantly boosts revenue.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this then. Let's start right at the foundation. The engine room, so to speak, of the VSA. You mentioned NLP, AI co-pilots. For these systems to not just, talk, but to actually sell effectively, what's the essential infrastructure? What's needed under the hood?
Yeah, good question. It really boils down to connectivity and the depth of the data they can access. For a VSA to be truly useful, not just a gimmick, it needs that seamless, really robust integration between
Right.
its NLP brain, right, and the company's own inventory databases.
Okay.
The NLP part, that's the interpreter, takes a query, maybe something messy like, got those blue running shoes, women's size 7, need them shipped to Seattle by Tuesday. Yeah, natural language. And it has to understand the actual intent behind all those different parts.
That's a huge step up from just keyword matching, which is what we used to say.
Oh, absolutely. Worlds apart. Then you have the AI co-pilot. Think of it as the knowledge broker. It accesses product data, logistics information, but the key is it's real time,
Yeah.
directly from those connected platforms. Inventory, shipping databases, CRM.
Real time? That sounds critical.
It is. It's the core differentiator because
Yeah.
that guarantees the responses are immediate and, crucially, they're accurate. It basically eliminates that risk of, say, telling a customer a size is in stock when it literally just sold out,
Yeah.
or quoting an old price.
Right. Okay. That real-time connection makes a massive difference for accuracy. But, conversations aren't usually just one question, one answer. They twist and turn. So if I ask 3 follow-up questions about those same running shoes, maybe about arch support next, then the materials, how does the VSA keep track? How does it maintain context across multiple messages without just like resetting to a generic script each time?
That's where let's say, the real intelligence comes in. And it relies on quite sophisticated dialogue management frameworks.
Dialogue management frameworks. Oh,
Yeah, these are specialized tools. They're specifically designed to retain that conversational context throughout the whole interaction, even if it's quite long. So it remembers the shoe model, the size 7, the blue color, the Seattle shipping you asked about maybe 3 messages ago.
so it doesn't keep asking you the same basic questions again.
Exactly. That retention, that memory, makes the whole thing feel cohesive, natural. It starts to mimic the experience you'd expect from a really attentive human sales associate.
Mm.
And that's what elevates the VSA beyond just a tool for quick transactional questions. It becomes a genuine conversational partner.
Okay, so they handle complex customer service, follow-up questions really well. But let's go back to the sales part of virtual sales assistant. A sales assistant needs to actually drive sales, right? Not just provide service. How do these tools make that leap from being reactive, just answering my questions, to being, proactively engaged in selling?
That pivot is absolutely crucial. And frankly, it's where a lot of the direct revenue generation happens. They do this using advanced AI-powered recommendation engines.
Recommendation engines, like people who bought this also bought that.
Well, yes and no. It goes way beyond that simple, often quite crude approach. These AI engines analyze massive streams of data, often in real time. Things like your past purchase history, sure, but also your current browsing session. What are you clicking on right now? What did you just add to your cart? Even your stated preferences from the current chat. It pulls all that together to generate these highly tailored suggestions.
Tailored suggestion.
Exactly. And because they're so relevant, based on your specific context at that moment, they create really effective upsell and cross-sell opportunities. The key is they feel genuinely personalized and helpful, not just like a random intrusive ad.
That makes sense. And it brings us nicely to the bottom line. We've talked about the mechanics, how it works. But for, say, a company executive listening right now, Why is this something they should be looking at as a serious, maybe even necessary infrastructure investment now? Let's shift to those tangible benefits. Why is a VSA more than just, a slightly jazzed up customer service spot?
Right. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the impact is definitely measurable. And the sources we've looked at show it hits three core strategic areas pretty hard. We're talking operational efficiency, direct revenue growth, and sustained customer satisfaction. And the numbers here, they're often significant, not just small incremental gains.
Okay, let's break this down. Start with efficiency. Automation always promises efficiency. But what does that actually look like in practice? What kind of real-world gains are businesses seeing when these assistants handle customer queries?
The data suggests virtual assistants can automate a really high percentage of routine queries. We're seeing figures up to 70% in some cases. 70% of those repeatable common questions.
70%? Wow.
But the key insight here isn't just, great, we cut 70% of the simple workload. The strategic value is what it enables. It frees up your human sales teams, the ones handling the remaining more complex 30%. It frees them from those repetitive, often low-value tasks.
Okay, so they can focus elsewhere.
Precisely. Your skilled human agents can now focus their expertise entirely on, say, complex problem solving, dealing with emotionally charged customer situations, or zeroing in on high-value sales closures. That means much better resource allocation. It means improved operational efficiency across the entire sales or service department.
Right. So the goal isn't necessarily minimizing staff numbers, it's maximizing the impact and value of the highly trained people you already have. That's a big win on the operational cost side, for sure. Now, let's talk money. Direct revenue growth. You mentioned those personalized recommendations earlier. Does all that sophisticated AI analysis actually translate into, significantly higher sales? Does it really move the needle?
Oh, absolutely. It demonstrably moves the needle.
Yeah.
This is probably the most crucial data point for many businesses.
Yeah.
Those tailored AI-driven product recommendations, they've been shown to increase the average order value of the AOV by, well, the figures range, but often between 15 to 25%.
Hold on, 15 to 25% increase in AOV. That sounds enormous. What's driving that? Is it just that the suggestions are inherently better?
The suggestion quality matters, of course. But the real strategic insight, I think, is often the timing and the integration. Think about it. The VSA is right there, embedded in the customer's decision-making flow. It's not a separate email later. It can trigger that perfectly tailored upsell or cross-sell recommendation at the exact moment the customer shows commitment, like right after they hit add to cart.
Ah, so it strikes while the iron is hot,
Well,
essentially.
exactly. You're maximizing what you might call cognitive leverage. You're presenting the relevant offer when the customer's already in that buying mindset. That immediate, contextually perfect suggestion is just far more effective than, say, a follow-up email that arrives 24 hours later when they've moved on.
That makes a lot of sense. Explains that significant conversion uplift. Okay, third area, customer experience.
Right.
Because you could have great automation, higher AOV, but if the actual experience of interacting with the VSA is frustrating, the whole thing kind of falls apart, doesn't it? How do they actually improve customer satisfaction?
It really comes down to two main things: constant availability and speed. VSAs provide instant responses. There's no waiting on hold for 20 minutes. And they operate 24/7, regardless of time zones or business hours.
No more. Our chat agents are currently offline messages.
Precisely. That always-on accessibility, combined with the instant answers for common questions, significantly enhances the overall user experience. It reduces friction. And over time, that reliability, that ease of getting help, fosters stronger customer loyalty. They know they can get answers quickly.
Okay, it definitely sounds like these VSAs have cracked the code for many current challenges in e-commerce interaction, which naturally leads us to the future. We've seen the core tech today, how it works, the benefits, but we know NLP and AI are evolving incredibly fast. Where are these systems headed next? What can we expect down the line?
Yeah, let's shift focus from today to tomorrow, or maybe even the day after tomorrow. The current generation of VSAs, as we've said, they're fantastic at answering questions, providing information, making relevant suggestions. But the near future, well, that sees them handling interactions that are, right now, pretty much exclusively the domain of highly trained, experienced human sales agents.
Okay, intriguing. What's the biggest leap in complexity we're anticipating? What kind of functions could they realistically take over that currently require, real human judgment and negotiation skills?
One of the big ones mentioned in the research is anticipate assistants handling far more nuanced tasks. specifically things like price negotiations.
Price negotiations, really?
Yes,
Yeah.
think about that. That moves the VSA beyond just being an informational guide or an upsell tool. It positions it as an active participant in the transaction itself, potentially a decision maker on pricing within certain parameters.
Wow. Okay, if they can actually negotiate the final price and potentially close the deal right there, they
Yeah,
really are stepping into core sales functions, aren't they?
they absolutely are. And then there's another angle, integrating the digital shopping experience much more deeply with the physical or experiential aspect.
How so? What does that look like?
That's where experiential integration comes in. We can expect to see VSAs integrating much more seamlessly with things like augmented reality systems, AR.
Augmented reality, like using my phone camera.
Exactly. This opens the door for capabilities like virtual try-ons. Imagine the VSA guiding you through seeing how a piece of furniture looks scaled correctly in your actual living room, or helping you see if that pair of glasses actually suits your face shape using your camera, all guided dynamically by the VSA during the conversation.
Huh. So the VSA wouldn't just tell me about the product, it would help me experience it virtually, guide me through trying it on, making sure the fit or style is right before I even think about buying.
Precisely. Maybe the VSA could even offer style advice based on the virtual try-on, saying, actually, based on the overlay, the other model might suit your face shape better.
Okay, the VSA is going to tell me my hat choice is questionable. And I won't even be offended because the AI just proved it with a 3D overlay on my own head. That's something.
Huh. Well, perhaps. But yes, these kinds of expanded capabilities are set to further revolutionize that entire customer buying journey, making it hyper-personalized, yes, but also fully interactive. And fundamentally, removing even more friction than we see today.
This has been genuinely eye-opening, a really insightful deep dive. Just to recap the main takeaway here for everyone listening, virtual sales assistants aren't just a minor upgrade or a new feature. They represent a really fundamental strategic shift in how businesses engage with customers online. They're redefining sales and service strategies through this powerful mix of automation, deep personalization, and those significant efficiency gains, which, as we heard, drive pretty massive AOV increases.
Yeah, and I think if you synthesize all that, what does it really mean? It means the integration of this kind of AI isn't just about optimizing the sales process we already have. Yeah. It's actually building an entirely new kind of commercial channel, one that's seamless, scales instantly, operates 24/7, and never needs a coffee break.
It really does fundamentally change the sales landscape, doesn't
It
it?
absolutely does. We've seen how adept they're becoming already, handling complex questions, guiding those valuable upsells, improving satisfaction. Now, considering that next leap we talked about into areas like actual price negotiations, full AR integration, it leads to a pretty provocative final question for you to think about. How soon, realistically, until the line between a VSA and a traditional human sales representative becomes, well, practically invisible from many standard e-commerce interactions? And that, of course, raises really important questions about the evolving role of the human salesperson. Where do they need to pivot their skills and expertise next to continue adding unique value? Something to mull over.